Hi, I'm Julie, and welcome to Valley Viewpoint here at Blue Mountain Television. And what's something that's really important in your life, in your physical body, that you rely on a lot? Well, it's our eyes, and we're going to be talking about our eyes today here on Valley Viewpoint with Dr. Art Geibel. Welcome to Valley Viewpoint, Art.
Hi, Julie.
It's great having you here.
Thank you.
So give us a little background. We're going to be talking about eye health today here on Valley Viewpoint, and you're an ophthalmologist.
Yes.
Correct. And how many years have you been in practice?
I can't count that far on both hands.
But more than a couple days?
More than a couple decades, yeah.
Okay, good. And you've been in here in Walla Walla, and you have, what's the name of your eye clinic?
Lifestyle Eye Center.
Okay. So you see people, maybe there's someone who has gone to their optometrist, but they need to have more advanced eye care, and they come to you. Is that correct?
We work with the optometrists, and we each have our areas of expertise, and so they do what they do great, we do what we do good, and so we work together as a team.
So you're doing surgeries. What are some of the things that people might come to see you for?
We do a lot of cataract surgery, otherwise also corneal transplants, some glaucoma surgery, and mostly in the front part of the eye.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be talking about eye health today, and there are some important things that we'll get to, but at the start of the day, what is something that's really important that can help us through the rest of the day, the rest of the week?
Well, I like to think about it this way, is that a good day starts with a good night's sleep. It's kind of like from creation week in the Bible. The evening and the morning were the first day, the second day, the third day. And so if you want to have a good day, have a good night's sleep the night before. That also goes where you might say to have a good night's sleep, start the day with a good day, like a good early morning sunshine exposure. Early morning
Sunshine exposure, and what does that do for us?
It really helps reset that circadian rhythm clock. Get your immune system, your whole body going towards good health. And so early morning sunshine is really good. Get outside.
So meaning the day is starting now. I need to go from the darkness of night, now it's daytime. But it's not just having the sun coming in a window. Are you saying that we actually need to go outside?
Yes, I am saying that.
Okay.
So often the windows, they can block certain wavelengths of light, and it's just not the same as getting outside.
Yeah.
For example, they did a study where they found that people who got 3 minutes of exposure outside in the morning actually had improved color vision the rest of the week.
Color vision, meaning that the colors are more detailed?
And distinguished, yes.
Okay, interesting.
So if you imagine just you have some improved function of your eye, which is a part of your brain, really.
Yeah.
Think what else it does to the rest of the brain.
Well, yeah.
And your neurologic function.
Yes, because it's all coming in through our eyes, and that affects so many different areas. Okay, so let me ask you this. So many people are working from home now. So what does that mean? You get up, you have breakfast, and then boom, you go to work, but you're not outside getting the 3 minutes, correct?
Well, you could go for more than 3 minutes, too.
Yes, right, sure, absolutely. But you're not even getting that if you're not even going outside, right?
That's a risk. That's a real risk, yeah. You have to purposely make sure you have time for yourself.
Yeah, and get the sunlight from God, as you mentioned. So what about making sure so let's go back to the sleeping part and then waking up. Is it good to have blinds pulled during the night, or is it better for your eye health to have to know when it's daylight and it's time to wake up?
That's a good point. I think if you have outside lights, it's probably good to have the blinds pulled.
Okay.
Because they find that having the room you sleep in very, very dark, is really helpful.
Okay.
So even studies and people who had lights on to varying degrees in the room they slept in, even coming through their closed eyelids, can still affect their metabolism, increase risks of weight gain, of troubled sleep, metabolic disorders, insulin resistance. So you really want to have the night be really night.
Night, and then, as you said in creation, it's time for the morning. Yeah, no, absolutely. So there's something, though, that has happened to all of us, and it is the invention of this device. So we are using our phones, we have computer screens, we have screens in our car, and I am just shocked that you can't even go and pump gas now without a screen there. So Dr. Geibel, what is this doing to our eye health?
Well, it depends when you use it.
Okay.
So again, for the eye health, I think you're looking at a good night's sleep. And how can you maximize that good night's sleep? Is it watching something right before you go to bed, or is it taking a little break from that?
Yeah. Especially when you've been on it not only for work, but then you think, oh, I'm going to relax and get on social media. So it was interesting. I had looked here on online just for some quick information statistics from 2022. Gen Z is almost up to 80% of time on their phone during the daytime. Baby boomers almost at 60%, and then of course each of these breakdowns are saying, oh yes, that I'm wanting to do something different about that. But back to the circadian rhythm, as we're talking about trying to go to bed, if you're on this having the light, and there's a blue light term, what does that mean?
Yeah, there are different wavelengths of light, and that's a good question, because not all light is created equal, you might say. And the light can vary from red, which is a very long wavelength of light, over to blue, a short wavelength of light, and the full color spectrum in between.
Yeah.
And all light does affect you somewhat, but the blue light can affect you more for your circadian rhythms.
Okay.
So blue light is more for raising your alertness, your wakefulness. And so in the morning, it's really good to have that.
Sure.
But at nighttime, it might disturb your settling down and getting towards that sleep mode.
So there is a blue light then coming on the phone to our eyes, correct? But there are settings that you can make it so it can, not be as bright?
Yeah, there is a night shift mode that it's called, and it's on pretty much all new modern smartphones. And the concept is that, hey, maybe we can turn off this blue part, and maybe that'll help our circadian rhythm better.
Yeah, so it's not so bright. So, okay, well, Dr. Geibel, thank you for being with us, and thank you for joining us here on Valley Viewpoint as we learn about eye health. Hi, I'm Julie, and welcome back to Valley Viewpoint here on Blue Mountain Television. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support of Blue Mountain Television. Today we're talking with Dr. Art Geibel, who's an ophthalmologist here in Walla Walla. And Art, great having you here, and I really do like your tie. You've got a sense of humor there, Doctor.
I think you passed the vision test.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I don't have my glasses on right now. But it says, read the first line, close your right eye, 20/20 vision, and all that. So that's a good tie. So we're talking about eye health here with you, and we talked here in the first part of the show about light. Now, we're sitting here in a studio here at Walla Walla University where we have a lot of light. This isn't the light that you're talking about is good for us, correct?
Well, the eyes were made for light, right?
Yes.
But you're very perceptive. The full spectrum light we get from the sunshine is really important for us.
So being outside, you were talking about the importance of having at least 3 minutes, but of course more in the morning. But should we be wearing sunglasses to protect our eyes, or is it also good to have the natural light without the sunglasses?
That's a really good question. We do know there are some conditions which can be worsened, you might say, with a lot of continuous sun exposure. Because of the short wavelength UV light, the blue light end of the spectrum, that can do some damage to our cells, and it can help age our bodies. But we also need that light to a certain degree.
Right.
There's a balance there.
Right, because then we hear, well, you need to wear your sunscreen, you need to avoid the sun, and so yes, back to the good word, balance.
But often if you're out, for example, in the field working all day, day in, day out, or maybe fishing, or out in the ocean, on the boats, or constantly looking out there, staring
the glare
the
from
glare
water.
and not blinking your eyes as much, you have some increased risk of some damage to the front of the eye, for example.
Interesting. So you were talking about being outside, and there's a word that you like in another language, and what does that mean?
Oh, there's a term called Shinrin Yoku. It's a Japanese term.
Shinrin Yoku. Mm-hmm.
Now, don't ask me for the pronunciation. I don't speak
you
Japanese.
Did well.
But it means forest bathing.
Forest bathing.
Actually going out there, going for a swim.
Okay.
In the forest.
In the forest.
And what's really interesting is that those natural wavelengths of light,
mm-hmm.
and of course, in science, we're always trying to break things down into different parts.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's the whole package that's really far more important. Fresh air, lack of pollution.
Mm-hmm.
But looking about light,
yeah.
we see that there is a particular wavelength of light that's reflected by the trees.
By the trees?
Onto us.
So what, the green of the trees?
The green leaves of the trees will
Really?
actually reflect to us the longer wavelengths of light, even the far infrared, which is not visible.
That's fascinating. So what is it? Is it the color of green that's like a calming color? I mean, that's very interesting to me.
It's just the wavelength of light that will actually help penetrate into our cells.
Okay, so here's the story. After our interview, we're going to see all these people heading out and walking around, and we're doing, what's the word again?
Shinrin Yoku.
Shinrin Roku. Okay, I've got to remember that. But that makes sense, though, of being outside, and it's helping everything in our bodies.
But let me ask you, how do you feel? If you're feeling stressed out, do you want to go walk in the city somewhere around different buildings or light posts, or do you want to go walk in the forest?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll even sense having land with trees on it is so valuable. And even here at this school, for example, it's just having open spaces with green trees. Those trees are invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only for shade, but then we're learning about this term as well. So, yes.
That particular wavelength of light will actually penetrate through your coat, through your clothes, through sunscreen, even perhaps an inch or two into your body.
Wow.
And will activate the part of the cell, the energy part of the cell called the mitochondria. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that actually will affect your melatonin levels more than taking some pill at nighttime.
Interesting. So then it's time to go to bed, and then when it's time to go to sleep, and it's time to wake up. Yeah. Oh, fascinating.
And it improves your mood, improves your immune system.
Yes.
I mean, it just has a host of wonderful things. So sunlight is really key.
Really important. So what is something that, we've talked about a lot of things here. Water. I was going to ask you about water. Helpful for, obviously, the body, the eyes, the heart, the everything, correct?
Yes. In multiple studies, water has been found very helpful. And for example, look at yourself. You probably, whether you realize it or not, are about 70% water. Yeah. And if you're deficient there, you're just not all you.
Well, exactly. So then we're wondering why our eyes are dry, why our mouth's dry, or why something's dry, and some of these simple things that Well, you've given us a lot to think and talk about, but it's important too about limiting this time, correct? And you've challenged us to get outside and walk through the trees. I like it.
Thank you, Julie.
Well, thank you, Dr. Geibel, for being here, and thank you for watching. And yes, you are in front of a screen watching this, and after you're done watching this, maybe you can go outside and get some good sun rays. So we want to thank you again for your support of Blue Mountain Television. On behalf of Valley Viewpoint, I'm Julie Sanders Keymer, and have a great day.